Good afternoon from Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Scott Trewady for the 6th game of the Ray Carter Cup Boys 15U National Baseball Championships. We are just about to get ready for a Group B game momentarily between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa. The teams playing here both lost their opening games this morning. Nova Scotia falling to Alberta 3-0. Newfoundland and Labrador lost to Prince Edward Island 6-2. The game's getting away are underway just a little bit earlier than first scheduled. We're a few minutes ahead of the 2:30 Eastern time slot, so we will give you the lineups in that just a moment. But we're ready to start the ball game here. So
here we go.
Here we go. And the first pitch of the game is waved at, and there's a check swing, so it's not a strike. It's ball one to the batter, Adam Crocker. Nova Scotia's left fielder will lead off the game here for Nova Scotia. The pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador is Liam Bavis. Newfoundland and Labrador in the black jerseys with the gray pants. Nova Scotia in the white jerseys. Crocker puts that ball into play to the shortstop and thrown out at first by Jay Miller. One up, one down for Nova Scotia. We're underway here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa.
That was close. It was a banger at first base. You really notice it with the base differential here.
Normally a lot of these players will play, the pitching mound is 60 feet away, like the major leagues, 60 feet for the pitching mound and 90 feet for the bases. But at the 15U championships, the mound is only 54 feet away from the plate, which is 10% closer, and the mound, or the bases, are only 80 feet apart. Second batter is Lane George for Nova Scotia. He hits that to center field, and it's over the center fielder's head. Lane George is digging for second. He's going to try for third. Here comes the throw, and he is in there with a triple. The ball gets away. Backing it up was the pitcher. And it's a triple for Lane George, the catcher for Nova Scotia. Runner in scoring position with just one out.
That was a good shot. The outfielder, center fielder got turned around a little bit out there. And plus with the wind blowing in now, it might play a little bit of tricks with it. But it was good hustle by Lane George all the way to third base. A big guy too, but he was going fast.
So the batter now for Nova Scotia is the first baseman, number 13, Ty Doucette.
Another big boy. They got two big boys back to back here for Nova Scotia.
Doucette bats from the left side, facing Liam Bavis of Newfoundland and Labrador. That pitch is outside. Count is a ball and a strike. Count is 2-0. One out here. Nova Scotia is the visiting team. We are just underway in this game between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador. Bavis's pitch is hit down the left field line
going foul.
And is just foul. As Scott mentioned, it is the breeze is picked up here, and it is blowing from left field in toward the infield. So balls are, we've seen it all day actually in other games earlier today where balls hit to the outfield just are not going to carry. Ty Doucette with a 2-1 count takes it outside. The count is now 3 balls and a strike. Ty Doucette, first baseman for Nova Scotia. Lane George is the base runner at third base. There's one out here in the top of the first inning. Bavis's pitch is fouled away to the left side out of the stadium. Count runs full. Both teams looking for their first victory of the tournament. Both 0-1 coming in.
Oh, the good thing about this at the end of the game, there's going to be one of these teams is going to be a winner. Unfortunately, the other team is not going to be. So
one team will be 0-2 for sure.
0-2 is not the way you want to start the tournament.
Bavis will pitch, and that ball is high. That is ball 4. At least I have it as ball 4. But
so do I.
But he's staying in.
We did something wrong, I guess.
Yeah, count is 3-2. I thought the count was already full, but that's what the scoreboard said. That ball is ripped to right field.
That's a shot.
Base hit for Ty Doucette. Lane George comes in to score. It's 1-0 Nova Scotia.
He hit that ball hard. And Nova Scotia is pumped.
Very energetic bench just to the right of our vantage point here on the first base side. So Nova Scotia is in front 1-0 and now have a runner at first with one away. Liam Bavis is the pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador. His catcher is Logan Broderick, number 29. He's the closest player to you. He's going to step up now and step on the plate and come back a bit. Setting up your infield for Newfoundland and Labrador, which we'll do in just a moment. Bavis's first pitch to the batter. Ryan Avery, the shortstop, is in there for a strike. First base, Mark Torvill. Cameron Pennell at second base, number 5. Shortstop is number 12, Jay Miller. Third base, number 18, Mitchell Noseworthy. Again, Logan Broderick, the catcher. That ball is hit.
That's
to
well
right
hit
center
too.
field.
Center fielder's got a track on it. He got it.
Brady Walsh is center fielder. He gets that one as the ball. You could see hold that one up a little bit. It was well struck. Ryan Avery flies out to center. There are 2 away.
Yeah, that was well hit. Again, exactly what you said. The wind's knocking her down. When it left the bat, you thought it might have a spot to go into the gap there, but unfortunately not for Nova Scotia. But good news for Newfoundland.
So Zach Jenkins, the third baseman, will be the batter now, number 6 for Nova Scotia. Runner at first base here with 2 out, 1 run in for Nova Scotia. Davis's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. The remainder of the Newfoundland and Labrador defense, Thomas Hancock in right field, Brady Walsh in center, and Zachary Mercer in left field. The EH in this game, or the extra hitter, is Brandon Young for Newfoundland and Labrador. So only batting in the lineup but not playing in a defensive spot at the moment. So Zach Jenkins has an 0-1 count here, bats from the right side. Pitch is chopped to the right side. It's a foul ball.
Foul.
Count goes to 0-2. So Adam Crocker led off the game for Nova Scotia with a ground out to short. A nice play by Jay Miller, but then we saw the big triple by Lane George. Ty Doucette cashed him in with a single, and that's where we are now, 1-0 here in the top of the first. On deck for Nova Scotia is the pitcher, Rory McDonald. Batting, he will bat 6th in the lineup. 0-2 is the count. Bavis's pitch is hit to the hole. It's short. That's a base hit.
Base hit.
No chance for Jay Miller to get to that one. It was perfectly placed through the hole between third and short. And now Nova Scotia with 2 runners on and 2 away. And here comes Rory McDonald. Third hit of the ball game so far for Nova Scotia. Rounding out the lineup for the batting order for Nova Scotia, Kyle King will bat 7th. He's the second baseman. Tyler Croteau is the right fielder at batting 8th. And Nolan Cheeseman will bat 9th in center field. First pitch from Liam Bavis is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Nova Scotia 2 on here and 2 out.
Big point of the game right now already to start off with. Newfoundland wants to stop this right now. No more runs.
That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. We saw it in the previous game, Scott, where we saw Ontario score 3 runs in the first inning, and that ended up being enough to win the ball game.
Absolutely. They got out of the chute first, and sometimes that's just the way the game goes, but Newfoundland doesn't want to be behind any more runs than 1 after this inning.
Bavis's pitch is high. Count is now 2 balls and a strike to Rory McDonald. Ty Doucette's the runner at second base. Zach Jenkins is the runner at first. 1 run already home for Nova Scotia here in the top of the first. That pitch is popped to the right side and foul out of play. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 20 pitches so far in the inning for Liam Bavis, hoping to end it right here. It's given up 3 hits, but if Newfoundland and Labrador can come away with just 1 run, I think they'll take it.
Absolutely.
We've seen a triple and a couple of singles here for Nova Scotia. That pitch is high.
Yeah, that's up.
So it's a full count. Runners will be on the go with the pitch here.
Yeah, game breaker right here.
Kyle King waiting on deck. Here's the payoff pitch. Chop foul. So we'll do it all again. Base runners will have to head back to where they were. 22 degrees Celsius here in Oshawa, Ontario. Good afternoon to all of our viewers across the country, and a special hello to all of those in Atlantic Canada watching this game between these Atlantic rivals. 3-2 pitch is high for ball four. That will load the bases for Kyle King, the second baseman, jersey number 7 for Nova Scotia. So a huge opportunity here for Nova Scotia, and we're going to see a mound visit here as Newfoundland and Labrador in the black jerseys talk things over, make sure everybody knows what their assignments are here. They're just one out away from getting out of the inning with just one run given up. Nova Scotia looking to add on to a 1-0 lead. The umpire will go out and break things up here momentarily. It gives us a chance to maybe talk about who our umpires are for this game.
Yeah, Jonathan Hollett is doing the plate with Tasha Haynes, first base umpire, and at third base we have Jordy Dwyer.
All of the umpires, Baseball Canada, 15 of them, along with 3 supervisors, actually 4 supervisors, all from across the country. Special platform for all of these umpires, prestigious moment to be umpiring at a national championship. Kyle King looks at strike 1 from Liam Bavis. Trying to work out of a jam here in the top of the first inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. The 0-1 pitch is
it's popped up,
lifted to left field, actually inside to the shortstop. Didn't carry as far as I first thought. Jay Miller will haul it in. The inning is over. So it'll be 1 run on 3 hits. There was a walk and 3 runners left on base. At the end of half an inning, Nova Scotia 1, Newfoundland and Labrador coming to bat. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Back at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Scott Trewady bringing you this Group B game between Nova Scotia in white, Newfoundland and Labrador in the black jerseys. This is the second game of the tournament for each team. Both teams playing this morning and losing their opening matches. Let's set the Nova Scotia defense for you here. Rory McDonald will be the starting pitcher. He's a right-hander. Lane George is the catcher. He had the big triple and scored the run in the first inning for Nova Scotia. At first base, Ty Doucette. Second base, number 7, Kyle King. Ryan Avery is at short. Zach Jenkins at third base. And in the outfield, left fielder Adam Mercer. Nolan Cheeseman is in center. And Tyler Croteau is in right field. No EH or extra hitter for Nova Scotia in this game, so they will just go with the 9 batters in the rundown offensively. So Adam, that's Adam Crocker, was the Adam Crocker is the left fielder, not Adam Mercer.
Yeah, and we aim to please too. We've I think you're viewing the game with no screen in front of your eyes and a nice clear view of the whole field. We just spare no expense here, and we got a brand new camera in here for all your fans out there.
That's right. The first camera had the screen in front of it. It was just a screen test.
Oh. Whoa. Brian.
good clear picture here for us. We're into the bottom of the first inning. I apologize for that.
Oh, it was awesome. Fit right in.
Ball and a strike here to Newfoundland and Labrador's first hitter of the ball game, Brady Walsh. He's the center fielder. Rory McDonald is the starting pitcher for Nova Scotia. Count is 2 balls and a strike. That is inside. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Brady Walsh.
Right off the bat here, I'm noticing Hollett's zone is tight for the home plate umpire right there after so far.
Walsh will look at that pitch come inside, and it's a leadoff walk for Newfoundland and Labrador. So good start for them, and it'll be Liam Bavis coming up now. He's the pitcher, so he has a chance to help out his own cause here.
For sure. See what the difference is here. Again, a good situation here on. I like to go back to our last game where the bunt was so prevalent in the first inning. This is a good time to pitcher to lay down a bunt here.
We'll see what Newfoundland and Labrador have in mind here with the runner on first and nobody out, trailing by a run here in the bottom of the first. They are the home team in this game. Bavis looks at ball 1.
No sign of bunt there, so playing for a bigger inning possibly. It's just different philosophies of coaching at every level, at every game. So what makes the game of baseball such a fun game.
They will check the runner back to first. Brady Walsh is back in. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's high, ball 2. Liam Bavis is from Mount Pearl. Pitching in this game, also plays as a shortstop for this Newfoundland and Labrador team. Got a 2-0 count here. That is hit to left field, and it's
gapper.
It's going to drop. It's dropped. The center fielder came in playing very shallow because of the strong wind blowing in. And Nolan Cheeseman almost came up with that, but it came out of his glove. And Newfoundland and Labrador now with runners at first and second and nobody out.
A great base running by Brady Walsh there. Well, look, in this case it was great base running because he's safe at second base. If that was a caught ball by the center fielder, he might have been doubled up at first. So it worked out to Newfoundland's advantage here right now.
Here's Thomas Hancock, the right fielder, and he will look at strike 1 from Rory McDonald. 1-0 in favor of Nova Scotia. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Newfoundland and Labrador looking to equalize here with runners at first and second and nobody out. Hancock will look at strike 2.
2 pitches pretty well in the same spot. Both looked like fastballs, so good for Rory McDonald here. He's up 2 strikes here. Could use a strikeout at this point right now.
It'll be an 0-2. And that is very close, but outside, I guess, for ball 1.
Yeah,
just missed.
I think it just missed. From that standpoint, it looked like it was a little bit further outside than the previous 2 pitches. So
never easy when you're down 0-2 to take a pitch when it's that close.
I totally agree. It was close.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is in play and foul to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count remains. Newfoundland and Labrador's inning began with a walk to Brady Walsh and then a single by Liam Bavis. So those are your base runners at first and second here, and nobody out. The count is 1-2 to Thomas Hancock, the right fielder. Bats from the left side. Roy McDonald looking for an out or maybe a double play here. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike.
Got him at first base.
And they pick off Liam Bavis at first. Or is he safe?
He's safe at first base. No, he's out at first base. So there's a little bit of a delay there.
So he's picked off a great throw down by Lane George to erase Liam Bavis on the strikeout. He is picked off. Score that 2-3. 2 out now with a runner at third. On that play, Brady Walsh came down to third base.
Good base running, aggressive base running. You see a ball going to first. No sense going back to the bag at second. Take off for third, and he did that. And unfortunately, Bavis would have got caught off. He should not get picked off first base.
Yeah, he was well off the base, and Lane George was alert to that and fired it down very quickly.
Great throw.
Very good throw. So here's Brandon Young, the extra hitter, number 23. He will look at strike one from Rory McDonald. Tying run at third base right now. Brandon Young hoping to knock in Brady Walsh here to tie the game. 2 away, count is 0-1. McDonald's pitch is high, 1-1.
That was up a bit. It's a tight zone, so you got to get a little bit lower than that to get a strike in for a plate umpire. All it here.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Big cut by Brandon Young, but he fouls it away. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Young's doing all he can here to drive in that run and start off even after the first inning.
So Rory McDonald, a strike away from getting out of this inning. He had runners at first and second. And there it is. Strikes out looking Brandon Young. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Rory McDonald. Newfoundland and Labrador turned away. They strand a runner at third, and at the end of 1 inning, Nova Scotia won, Newfoundland and Labrador no score. The Baseball Canada 15U Nationals are brought to you by the following sponsors: Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. You're watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the top of the second inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Good afternoon. Welcome to this Group B game at the Ray Carter Cup 15U Boys National Baseball Championship. This is a Group B game between Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Nova Scotia with a 1-0 lead after 1 inning. Tyler Crowe will be the leadoff hitter for Nova Scotia here in the top of the second. He's the right fielder. Liam Bavis, the pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador,
looks like he's got some eye black problems with his eyes, or got in his eyes, or he's trying to wipe it off here.
Or the dust.
Dust maybe, something.
Or dirt blowing around. It is fairly breezy here. There's a wind blowing from left field to right field. Kinsman Stadium that you're looking at right now is a fully enclosed stadium with concrete walls all around, but decked in ivy. It's a beautiful backdrop for baseball. One of the finer baseball diamonds in Ontario, I would say. A very big ballpark, 400 to center field and 352 to left field, 324 down the right field line. It's a very big playing surface. Crowe will look at the first pitch, ball 1.
Yeah, it is a beautiful ballpark. I've had the luxury of being involved in games here many a day, and spent 3 seasons coaching with the Oshawa Legionnaires in the elite program, and it just You know what? It's just fun to come to the ballpark like this, and it's well maintained.
This park has been around, I believe, since the 50s. It might even go back to the late 1940s. It's an historic ballpark in the community of Oshawa, Ontario. Tyler Crowe looks at a strike. Count is 1-2. This diamond is about a kilometer and a half just west of the downtown part of Oshawa. That pitch is spoiled nicely by Tyler Crowe.
Fought that off.
There's an off-speed pitch there from Liam Bavis, and stays alive. Count is 1-2. Newfoundland and Labrador down a run here. Nova Scotia with a run in the top of the first inning to take the lead in this game. Both teams looking for their first victory of the tournament. Crowe spoils it again.
Yeah, doing a good job up there, fighting off. Hopefully he's looking for his pitch that he can hopefully hammer somewhere in the for a single somewhere. Definitely a good battle going here right now.
Smart hitters are able to knock away those two-strike pitches to stay alive. We'll do it again. This time it's looked at for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just outside. Just outside.
Liam Bavis will deliver this pitch. It's outside, 3-2. 32nd pitch of the ball game now for Liam Bavis.
He's getting up there. With the way pitch counts are, Newfoundland's going to have to make a decision sooner than later.
There's another fouled pitch by Tyler Crowe. That one just down the left field line.
Yeah, and Newfoundland is thinking ahead right now. They've got someone warming up in their bullpen right now down in the left field line. As the first threshold is 35 pitches, as we know from earlier games.
Another pitch fouled away by Tyler Crowe. This is a terrific battle here, leading off the second inning for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, definitely a good battle here. This is what you like to see in a baseball game. Hitter versus pitcher.
That ball is put in play to the shortstop. Jay Miller comes up with it and throws on to first, and he will get Tyler Crowe. Score that 6-3, 1 away, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Nolan Cheeseman.
And Newfoundland is... No, Newfoundland coach was going to come out there, but now we're not sure what's going on here. The catcher and the infield's coming around. Now here comes the coach.
Well, he is at 35 pitches, Scott, so this is a threshold here. If he doesn't throw another pitch, then Liam Bavis can pitch again tomorrow. So I think that we're going to see Bavis come out of the game.
Yeah, that is what's going to happen.
Or at least, maybe not out of the game, but at least stop pitching.
He's not going to pitch anymore.
So
he's batting second, so I'm thinking he's going to stay in the game. He could be DH, EH could be coming in. I don't know who we'll have to see who's coming in the pitch here.
Well, Brandon Young was the EH in the lineup.
Yeah.
So Bavis is coming off the field.
Who came in here? We know they're still just chatting around there, and the coach has got to watch here that he can't go back and forth here. He's going to get called for a visit.
So we'll see if we can sort out what's going on here with the lineup changes, but we do know that Liam Bavis will leave the game as Newfoundland and Labrador's pitcher. It is a left-hander. And from our vantage point, we cannot see his number yet. It looks like, oh, there it is, number 30. So that will be Cody Butt. Cody Butt will be coming on here to pitch left-handed for Newfoundland and Labrador. I don't know if it's a straight change. It looks like the manager for Newfoundland and Labrador is explaining a number of different things to the umpire, so I expect there are probably multiple changes happening here, Scott.
It could be a double switch here or something. It could be figuring a way how Bavis is going to stay in the game. Yeah.
Well, we'll try and ensure that we get everybody's name. We didn't see anybody else come onto the field, so maybe it is just a straight change. But anyway, Cody Butt is the new pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador. And Bavis leaves the game with 35 pitches, which means he is eligible to pitch again tomorrow. Had he thrown another pitch, he would not have been able to pitch again until Saturday.
There we go. Pitcher's ready. Hitter's ready.
So nobody on the bases. Nova Scotia batting here in the top of the second inning. Cody Butt's first pitch is very high and gets away from the catcher, ball one. Cody Butt is from St. John's. Just recently celebrated his 15th birthday on July 28th. Nolan Cheeseman, the batter for Nova Scotia. He will check that swing and foul it away to the right side. Count is a ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Swung on a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, solid pitch there. Come in, start throwing strikes right off the bat. That's what you want your pitcher to do, and Butt is doing that.
Nolan Cheeseman is the number 9 hitter in the lineup for Nova Scotia. He puts that in play. The shortstop,
Be a
Jay
tough
Miller.
play. Oh, he's beating that out.
Jay Miller not able to get to it in time, and it's an infield single for Nolan Cheeseman. Base runner for Nova Scotia now with 1 out.
Who fell down after the bag. Did a little bit of a tumble, but he seems okay. And everything's good. Just took a little tumble. He wanted to show his mom he got dirty, so he's all ready to go.
That ball was not hit hard, but it got past the batter, or sorry, past the pitcher. He couldn't field it. Jay Miller really had to charge it hard, but there was just no way the ball was going fast enough for him to get to it and throw out the runner. So here comes Adam Crocker. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. Crocker looks at a pitch outside for ball 1. Grounded out to short to lead off the game. On deck will be Lane George, who hit that monster triple back in the first inning and scored the only run of the game. Fouled away. Count goes to 1-1. Other games going on right now in Group B action. Alberta taking on New Brunswick. Manitoba is taking on Prince Edward Island. That game in Clarington, just east, about 20 minutes east of us here in downtown Oshawa. It will check the runner back to first. The ball gets away, and that is going to allow Nolan Cheeseman to get to second base. And
he's going to third.
And
he's going home. He's going home.
And he is. It's all the way around for first base as Newfoundland and Labrador throw the ball away twice on the same play. Cheeseman scores. It's 2-0 now for Nova Scotia.
A lot of foul territory at Kinsman Field, so the overthrow it's a live ball, and you can get a lot. You can get 1, 2. In that case, he got 2 bases on the first overthrow, and then another base on the second overthrow. So good job of base running by Nolan Cheeseman.
Adam Crocker takes a strike. Count is 1-1. Sorry, 1-2. 1 away here. Bases are now empty, but it's 2-0 for Nova Scotia here in the top of the second. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So
very nice curveball there by Butt.
So Cody Butt gets his first strikeout of the game, and that'll bring up Lane George. Lane George is 1 for 1. He tripled and scored last inning in the first.
The wind is picking up, Brian.
Yeah, the wind is picking up, blowing a lot stronger now from left to right. That ball is way over the catcher's head, ball 1.
Yeah, that was just a bit outside.
Lane George is the catcher for Nova Scotia. We've seen the powerful bat already in this ball game. That pitch is inside, 2-0. Now, Cody Butt, of course, did not face him in the first inning. That was Liam Bavis, the starting pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador. So you got a lefty pitcher facing a righty hitter here. That pitch is fouled away, strike one. Lane George from Belnon, Nova Scotia. That ball is ripped past the shortstop.
That was
just hit too hard.
Yeah.
Jay Miller tried to come up with it, but it snuck under his glove. Lane George is 2 for 2 in the ball game now.
Hitting the ball hard. So he seems to be a key cog in the batting lineup here for our Nova Scotia team here. But again, both hits aren't cheap. They are solid, well-hit balls.
5th hit of the ball game for Nova Scotia. That'll bring up Ty Doucette. Swings from the left side. He is 1 for 1 in the game. He has 1 of the 5 Nova Scotia hits. He knocked in Lane George back in the first inning. He will take strike 1 from Cody Butt. And that pitch, we're hearing it's no pitch. There was an errant ball that got onto the field, so one of the umpires in the field called time. So this is the first pitch of the at-bat. And same difference, it's fouled away for strike 1. Runner at first for Nova Scotia here in the top of the second. They lead it 2-0 over Newfoundland and Labrador.
It is 2 strikes. That pitch did count.
Oh, it did count, okay.
So I'm not sure what went on.
So it's 0-2. That ball is hit to second base. No chance for getting it to second, but it is the last out of the inning as a nice play by Cameron Pinnell to end it, over to Mark Torvill to retire the side. But it's another run on 2 hits for Nova Scotia, and at the end of an inning and a half, it's Nova Scotia 2, Newfoundland and Labrador, no score. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the bottom of the second inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. A game between Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Coming to the plate here in the bottom of the second inning, trailing it by a score of 2-0. Rory McDonald will stay on the mound for Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia in the white jerseys, Newfoundland and Labrador with the black jerseys and the gray pants. Newfoundland and Labrador had a bit of a rally going back in the first inning with a leadoff walk to Brady Walsh. Liam Bavis singled to have 2 on with nobody out. And then Thomas Hancock struck out, and on the same play, Liam Bavis was picked off of first as the catcher threw down for a double play. And then Brandon Young struck out looking to end the inning, so the threat went by the wayside. Jay Miller will be the leadoff batter for Newfoundland and Labrador here. He's the shortstop for the home team here, Newfoundland and Labrador. He wears jersey number 12. Rory McDonald's first pitch is low for ball 1. That pitch is hit to the shortstop. Ryan Avery comes up with it, throws on to first for the out, 1 away.
Yep. Nice play by the shortstop there. Ball gets to you fairly quick, but you got to realize that the bases are shorter, and I'll tell you, there's been a lot of bangers almost like at first base. You got to get rid of that ball, and you got to have something on it to get the guy out at first base on a routine ground ball.
Mitchell Noseworthy will be the batter for Newfoundland and Labrador. He's the third baseman, swings and misses at strike one. Bats from the left side. One hit in the ball game so far for Newfoundland and Labrador. That was by Liam Bavis. That pitch is in play to
Slow
second
grounder.
base. Tough play at first, but making it is Kyle King. Over
Nice
to
play.
Ty Doucette. Second out. 2 away.
Again, ground ball in the infield. Close plays at first base.
Zach Mercer will be the batter now. Bats from the left side. He's the left fielder. Rory McDonald will fire that in low for ball one. 2 quick outs here, both on ground balls in the Newfoundland and Labrador second inning. Ball to short, a ball to second. Mercer will put that in play to second base. Kyle King is there. Will flip it to first for the out, and the inning is over. A very quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Newfoundland and Labrador. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 2 innings complete here now at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa. Nova Scotia leading by a score of 2-0. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're about to go to the third inning here. Nova Scotia coming up to bat with a 2-0 lead over Newfoundland and Labrador. The Baseball Canada 15U Nationals are sponsored by Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. Nova Scotia with a run in the first and a run in the second. One by hitting and the other by some defensive miscues by Newfoundland and Labrador, leading to the second run in the second inning on a couple of throwing mistakes. And that's where we are, 2-0. So we go to the top of the third. Nova Scotia batting. It'll be the cleanup hitter, number 8, Ryan Avery. He looks at ball one from Cody Butt, who came on last inning, the left-hander in relief of Liam Bavis. That pitch is high for ball 2. Avery is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flied out to center field. Again, Nova Scotia in the white jerseys with the blue sleeves. There's ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Cody Butt not happy with himself on that pitch.
He's got to regroup here.
That is just high for ball 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk for Ryan Avery to start the third inning for Nova Scotia. And that will bring up Zach Jenkins, the third baseman. Jenkins is 1 for 1 in the ball game. He is one of the 5 hits so far in the ball game for Nova Scotia. He bats from the right side. Jenkins will come to the plate with a pitch that's in there for strike 1.
Avery doesn't have much of a lead at first base with the left-hander on the mound. He's maybe a little hesitant or not sure how to read him probably, but he does not have a big enough lead.
The 1-0 pitch is outside. Ball and a strike to Zach Jenkins. Ryan Avery, the runner at first. Usually tougher to steal off a lefty because the lefty's facing you. He has a direct view of you. The runner does go there, and it's fouled away. Maybe a hit and run on there, Scott?
Yeah, I would say that was a hit and run because of based upon the lead he had at first base wasn't a lead for a steal. Could have been a run and hit too, if which is different than the hit and run. But we'll have to see what's on now. Third base coach went through a group of signals again, so we'll see what's going to happen here. First,
it's a 1-2 pitch. Runner goes, pitch is high, and it's a stolen base. As the ball gets away, and he's trying to go to third. Here comes the throw to third, and they throw it away again. He is going to try and come home, and this time they will score again. As quick speed by Nova Scotia on the base paths leads to another run. It is 3-0 Nova Scotia.
Newfoundland definitely not helping himself this inning and the last inning. Two errors one error for sure. And the last runner that scored last inning, there was 2 errors on that play, so they're really not helping themselves out here at all. So we'll have to see if they can regroup from this and down 3-0, one run per inning so far for Nova Scotia.
So 2 runs coming in on errors for Nova Scotia in the last 2 innings. Count is 2-2. That is just inside. Ball 3. Full count. Nobody out here for Nova Scotia in the top of the 3rd inning, and they have a 3-0 lead. Cody Butt trying to get the first out here. That will not do it. That's high for ball 4. Second walk of the inning.
Newfoundland will probably be getting someone up in the bullpen any second here. With 2 straight walks to start off the 3rd inning is not an ideal scenario for Newfoundland.
It's the 3rd walk issued in the game by Newfoundland and Labrador pitching. And we'll keep an eye on Jenkins at first base. They've had success running the bases so far. The batter is Rory McDonald. First pitch is in there for a ball. That ball was in the dirt and no chance to get Jenkins. He's in there with a stolen base.
Yeah, ball drifted. The catcher didn't come up with the ball, and it rolled just back a foot or so from him, but the runner was aggressive and saw the ball rolled off and took off.
Cody Butt will throw back to second. Very close play at second, but safe at second is Zach Jenkins. Rory McDonald is 0 for 0 in the game. He had a walk back in the 1st inning. There is a ball 2 now to Rory McDonald, starting pitcher for Nova Scotia. 3-0 is your score. Still nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. Runner at second. There's ball 3.
But has struggled. Yeah, since he's come in, he got through the last inning, but he's struggling this inning. He's finding it hard he's trying to find the spot, the strike zone. He can't seem to get her right now. So Nova Scotia's
there's a strike.
Taking advantage of that.
Rory McDonald taking all the way on that pitch. Count is 3 balls and a strike. The left-hander deals. That ball is hit to the outfield. Center fielder Brady Walsh is under it, catches it, will throw it into third base. 1 away. That's a big out for Cody Butt.
Yes, big out. Needed that right there to shut that down. Get an out, and now they need to stop the runner at second from scoring here. Newfoundland doesn't want to go down 4-0.
Kyle King is now the batter for Nova Scotia. The second baseman bats from the right side. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Lined out, or rather popped out to second. Popped out to short back in the 1st inning. They check the runner back to second, and Zach Jenkins is back in. He's getting a pretty good lead out there. First pitch to Kyle King is lifted to the outfield. Brady Walsh is there to catch that, and he will throw it back in, and there are 2 away. So 2 quick outs now after 2 walks to start the inning.
Yeah, Nova Scotia's been aggressive at the plate, but they've been chasing Butt's fastball. It's a little bit high, so really you got to get on top of that ball if you're going to do anything with those pitches. Most of his pitches have been around the belt.
Tyler Crowe is the batter now. Looks at ball 1 from Cody Butt. Crowe is 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out to short. He was the last batter that Liam Bavis pitched to before he was lifted from the game. That ball is in the dirt, 2-0.
Good job by the catcher there to Logan Broderick to keep that in front.
Crowe looks down for the signals from third base coach. And Cody Butt will deliver a strike. 2-1. 3-0 Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Jenkins has got a good lead out there. If he might be on a situation here, if he gets a good read, he's going to take off.
That pitch is in there for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the Nova Scotia third. Tyler Crowe looking to add on to a 3-0 lead. He will swing and miss at strike 3, and the inning is over. But it's another single run for Nova Scotia in the top of the third. They lead 3-0. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Heading to the home half of the third inning here. Just a moment, Newfoundland and Labrador trailing Nova Scotia 3-0 here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. Group B action of the Ray Carter Cup Boys 15U National Baseball Championship. This is our third game of the day, coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. 6 o'clock Eastern Time, so 7 o'clock Atlantic and 3 o'clock Pacific. We will have the opening ceremonies of the tournament. So all the teams will be here, and they will march out onto the field at 6 o'clock Eastern Time here at Kinsman Stadium. We will have that for you on SportsCanada.TV, followed by the fourth game of the day. That will be Quebec against the host team from Oshawa, the Oshawa Legionnaires, in a Group A game taking place at 7 o'clock Eastern Time.
Which will probably have a big crowd at.
I think we will see a pretty big crowd with Oshawa being the home team. And I think a large contingent from Quebec families and friends.
Quebec supports their baseball programs very well too, so it's going to be an interesting game too. Both teams want to get out of the chute with a victory, and both are definitely competitive teams in the baseball world.
Mark Torvill is the batter here, leading off for Newfoundland and Labrador. The first baseman will look at strike 3 from Rory McDonald. So Mark Torvill is retired. That's the first out. And now 6 straight retired by Rory McDonald after giving up a walk and a single to lead off the game. He has retired 6 straight batters.
Yeah, and he struck out 3 during that period of time now, too. Big turning point at that point in the game was when the catcher picked off the runner at first base for Newfoundland, as well as the batter struck out.
So the batter is number 30, Cody Butt. And he takes the ball. Their count is a ball and a strike. 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Newfoundland and Labrador trailing. He will look. Cody Butt will look at strike 2. Batting in the number 8 slot, which was originally second baseman Cameron Pennell's spot. So there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Second out of the inning and 4th strikeout of the game for Rory McDonald. And that will bring up the catcher, number 29, Logan Broderick. So Rory McDonald into a bit of a groove here now, Scott, as he's retired 7 straight. Broderick looks at ball 1.
Yeah, and he's in his zone, in the groove right now, and that's, you find there's parts of the game where pitchers get into that situation.
There's ball 2.
But it can change very rapidly.
Well, teams like to talk about striking magic with 2 outs or 2-out magic.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a pitch that's just off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes now to Logan Broderick.
That pitch just missed. Looked good from my vantage point, but I think it just missed on the outside corner.
The 3-0 is, that hits Broderick.
Yeah.
So that's a hit by pitch. Same difference as ball 4, I suppose, but it's officially scored as a hit by pitch. That'll turn the lineup over to Brady Walsh. Brady Walsh led off the game for Newfoundland and Labrador with a walk. He ended up making it all the way to 3rd base back in the 1st inning, but did not score. Runner at first, 2 away here in the home half of the 3rd. Brady Walsh swings and misses at strike 1. 3-0 is the score. Nova Scotia in front. Nova Scotia in the white jerseys. Newfoundland and Labrador in the black jerseys. Broderick will be chased back to first. Throw there by Rory McDonald. Rory McDonald began this inning with a couple of strikeouts, but then he hit Logan Broderick on a 3-0 pitch. Runner goes. Ball is thrown down to second, and it is not in time. And it's a stolen base for Logan Broderick.
Had a good jump there, and again, if we noticed on a steal attempt in the previous game, it hits the grass, it doesn't scoot, it kind of slows it down, and ended up being a big hop, and he got underneath the throw there.
The count is a ball and a strike to Brady Walsh. 2 away here. That ball is in play. It's chopped to second. Going to be a tough play, and it hits the seam or the side of the grass. There's going to be a play at the plate here, and the ball is dropped. A run is in for Newfoundland and Labrador. It's an RBI single, and then taking second on the throw is Brady Walsh. The score is now 3-1.
Yeah, it was a big hit by Walsh there. Good throw to the plate. Catcher had it in his glove as he went to tag him, and the ball came out of his glove. Unfortunately for Nova Scotia, but again, good for Newfoundland. 3-1 ball game now.
It was a close play at the plate, and we're seeing a defensive
change right here. The center fielder for Nova Scotia, Ryan Avery.
Nolan Cheeseman was the starting.
Nolan Cheeseman in the center field. So we have A new player is going out to left field, and the left fielder is going to right center field.
So number 4 is going to left field. That's Matt Mackenzie. So Matt Mackenzie is now the left fielder for Nova Scotia. I think Adam Crocker moved over to center.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what happened there.
Absolutely correct. That's it.
2 away here. Runner at second for Newfoundland and Labrador. That ball is in play, and that is going to the shortstop. A great throw to first.
Oh.
It gets away, and we're going to see another run come in. As unable to scoop it was Ty Doucette. Really nice play, or nice try there by Ryan Avery. But the ball gets away, and it's an RBI for Newfoundland and Labrador. 3-2 is the score.
Nova Scotia's coming out to talk to the pitcher and looking at pitch counts and stuff that's going on here. So
we have a 3-2 ball game now here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Roy McDonald was off and running with 2 quick strikeouts, but since then there's been a hit batter and a couple of singles. So Thomas Hancock will come to the plate now. The right fielder bats from the left side. He's 0 for 1 in the game with a strikeout. Let's see if the runner goes, and he does. Ball is low. They will throw down to second. Very close play, and he's out at second.
Oh, nice throw there by the catcher.
Lane George guns down the runner. The inning is over. But 2 runs on 2 hits. There was a hit batter. And at the end of 3 innings, it is Nova Scotia 3, Newfoundland and Labrador 2. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Going to the 4th inning here, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. A good ball game going here. Nova Scotia leading Newfoundland and Labrador by a score of 3-2. Newfoundland and Labrador getting a couple of runs back just recently in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cody Butt will stay in the game to pitch for Newfoundland and Labrador. The leadoff hitter is Matt Mackenzie,
who's come in the game for Cheeseman.
Matt Mackenzie looks at a ball, 2-0. Wind really picking up here in Oshawa.
Swirling a bit too. Still a sunny, beautiful day though.
Matt Mackenzie now with a 3-0 count. He's from Vaughan, Nova Scotia. The 3-0 pitch from Cody Butt is in there for a strike, 3-1. Mackenzie came on as a defensive replacement in the bottom of the last inning. He fouls that pitch away. Count runs full, 3-2. Matt Mackenzie playing left field for Nova Scotia. Adam Crocker moving from left to center in that last inning. That ball is lifted to the right side, and it's a foul ball out of play. We'll do it again with a 3-2 count. A run in the first, a run in the second, and a run in the third for Nova Scotia. The last two runs being helped, or Nova Scotia being helped by a couple of throwing mistakes by Newfoundland and Labrador. Nova Scotia giving up 2 runs back in the last of the third. That ball is popped up. Again, the wind is pushing it to the right side, and that is just out of play.
Yep.
Hit the dugout just to the right of us. The Nova Scotia dugout is just to the right of our vantage point here.
Yeah, the ball's going up, but it's really, the wind is really knocking her. So a fly ball to the outfield could be a bit of an adventure as the game goes on.
Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Mackenzie, and he looks at ball 4. It's a lead-off walk for Nova Scotia here in the 4th. And we'll keep an eye on Matt Mackenzie as the lineup turns over now to Adam Crocker, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game with a ground out and a strikeout. But they've had success in pushing those offensive buttons, Scott, to they're starting the runners and forcing Newfoundland to throw the ball, and they've had a hard time keeping it under control defensively. So that's led to a couple of runs that they've given up. Ball, the runner goes. That ball is down the left field line. It's a fair ball.
Right over the bag.
That will be scored, a double. Adam Crocker doubles, and that moves Matt Mackenzie all the way to third, and Nova Scotia now with runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th.
That went right over the bag. Newfoundland is questioning whether it was a fair or foul ball. Really not much you can do about it. The home plate umpire had the best view of that, and he was there. He was right there, and he came right up and made the call. So, again, from his view, from my view too, because I'm looking at the same view the first base umpire, or the home plate umpire is, it went right over the bag. It curled once it went over the bag, but it went right over the bag.
Yeah, the ball was in play on the ground, in the infield, and it was rolling down the line, and it looked like it might go foul. But I agree. I think it just went over the left side of the bag, and the umpire immediately signaled it was a fair ball. So here comes Lane George. He is 2 for 2 in the ball game. He's tripled and scored. He also had a single. Exactly who Nova Scotia wants up. He takes a huge cut at that. Strike 1.
This kid can hit, so if he gets a pitch in his wheelhouse, Nova Scotia's going to score 2 more runs here.
Lane George from Belden, Nova Scotia. Count is 0-1. Nobody out here. Runners at second and third. Nova Scotia up by a run, 3-2. That ball is high, gets away from the catcher, and that is going to score a run. Logan Broderick just could not squeeze that one. And another run comes in on a throwing mistake.
On a throwing mistake. It was a wild pitch from, but Broderick had a chance at it, but he did everything he could to keep it in front of him, but he had to dive up to the right and try to snag it, which didn't happen.
So that makes it a 4-2 game now, and a runner on third, nobody out. Definitely another scoring situation here for Nova Scotia. Anything on the ground, a fly ball might be a sacrifice fly. Big cut again by Lane George. Swings and misses for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes.
But I think the last 2 pitches George went after, they're just up in the zone. It's just above the belt. So I wouldn't be surprised if this pitch is around the same area.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. So 3 big swings by Lane George, but he's retired. That's the first out here in the top of the 4th inning.
George went to school there, Butt went to school on that. He saw that George liked that pitch, and he just kept going higher. Good job by Butt there to strike out Lane George.
So here's Ty Doucette. He's 1 for 2 in the game with a single and a ground out. He looks at ball 1. Again, a scoring situation. Runner at third with fewer than 2 out. Just 1 out, and Newfoundland and Labrador's defense not particularly tight here. They're in a little bit. There's ball 2.
Corners are in. Corners are in, Brian, and up the middle. Look like regular depth. They're right now. They're just talking. They're looking over at the bench and asking them where they want to be. They want him back, so they're giving up the run here.
2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1.
If it's hit between the shortstop and second base, Newfoundland is giving up the run here. Down on the corners, they're going to take a look at him see if they can, if he takes off to go to the plate.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's high. 3 balls and a strike now to Ty Doucette. Ryan Avery is on deck. Cody Butt trying to get his man. That's high, though, for ball 4. He's been missing a number of pitches to the high part of the zone, and that's a walk. So 2 on now with 1 away. And here comes Ryan Avery.
See what happens here now. If Doucette has the green light to take off here, is there potentially with the runner at third, might be a play set up there where the Scotia runner stops and the guy at third base takes off and comes home. We're not really sure.
I think we're going to see some kind of base running activity here for Nova Scotia.
For sure, because they've been successful at it so far in the game, and Newfoundland just doesn't have an answer for it. It seems they throw the ball away, unfortunately.
Ryan Avery will look at ball 1. Doucette's walk was the 4th walk issued so far by Cody Butt in the ball game. One away here, runners on the corners, a run already in. Nova Scotia leading 4-2. We're in the top of the 4th. Squares to bunt, takes it back. Ball 2.
Interesting, yeah.
Safety squeeze potentially in play there.
Potentially there. I like it. I like the call. I like that better than a steal to get into a rundown or something. I like the bunt call here. You need to push it to first base right now.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is hit and lined out and doubled off. No, not doubled off. Safe at third.
Banger at third. Banger play at third.
Very close play at third, but it's a line out to Jay Miller at shortstop for the second out. They tried to double off Adam Crocker, but he was able to get back just in time to keep the inning alive.
Unfortunately, if Miller saw at first base, he would have saw that Doucette was off. He could have got him. He could have doubled him up at first, but again, he was looking right over to third base, so that was the best play.
So runners on the corners now, 2 out. Zach Jenkins is the batter, the third baseman for Nova Scotia. He swings at a high pitch, and that's fouled back out of play, 0-1. Nova Scotia with a run in each of the first 4 innings of the ball game.
Yeah, ones are wild for Nova Scotia.
4-2 is the score. More runs to cash for Nova Scotia here if they can. In the top of the 4th inning, they have a 4-2 lead. Logan Broderick is going to give some signals to his infielders here.
Oh.
And now Zach
Jenkins. Yeah, he's
going to go down and talk to the third base coach.
He wants to make sure signals there. What he was seeing was what he wanted him to do, or sometimes guys get a little antsy on the signals, and some guys are really good with signals, and some players are like they never get the signal. So
it's an 0-1 pitch. It's high. 1-1. Again, runners on the corners. 2 out.
Could be some activity on this pitch. A good count to send the runner.
Cody Butt, left-hander, will deliver. The runner does go. The pitch is in there for a strike, and that stolen base is not contested. Ty Doucette jogs down to second without a throw. Second and third. Newfoundland and Labrador not taking a chance on throwing anything around now.
No, they've learned from their past, unfortunately.
Count is 2 balls and a strike, and that's now 3-1. So that
open
pitch
base.
comes in high.
Got an open base right now.
Second and third, 2 out. Count is 3-1. That is chopped to the shortstop. Nice scoop.
Play. Oh.
And on to first and getting the out. Great play by Jay Miller. That saved a run for sure, possibly 2. And Newfoundland and Labrador just give up the single run in the inning. And we have a score now of 4-2 in favor of Nova Scotia. We've played 3.5 innings. Newfoundland and Labrador coming up in the bottom of the 4th in just a moment. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. About to go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Oshawa Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. Brian Oliver, along with Scott Cherwadi, bringing you coverage of this Group B game at the Ray Carter Cup Boys 15U National Baseball Championships at Kinsman Stadium. The championships, the Nationals, brought to you by Durham College, Residence, Conference Centers, GCBS Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, ChanoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. So, bottom of the 4th we go. Thomas Hancock will come up again. He was up in the bottom of the last inning, but Liam Bavis was caught stealing, so he'll come up. Thomas Hancock will again to face Rory McDonald. He looks at strike 1. Newfoundland trailed this game 3-0. They got 2 back in the 3rd, but gave up another in the top of the 4th. They trailed by 2 runs here, 4-2. Bavis looks at that pitch. Low in the zone for strike 2.
I don't think we're going to get any lower for a strike on that one. That's probably as low as it would be.
Thomas Hancock is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He struck out in the 1st inning. The 0-2 pitch from McDonald is fouled away. 61 pitches now for Rory McDonald. Reaching a threshold fairly soon, the 65 pitch threshold, which would require an extra night of rest. That's fouled away.
That's
actually stayed in play, but not caught. So
third baseman for Nova Scotia there, Zach Jenkins, didn't really go after that ball. He kind of jogged over there. If he would have left right off the bat, he had to play.
You know, the wind may have pushed that back. It may have looked like it was going up, but I think the wind sort of just kept it along the fence line there. But it dropped harmlessly, and it's another shot for Thomas Hancock. This time he hits it to the right side. Second baseman Kyle King is under it and will haul it in for the 1st out. So it's a pop out to second base for Thomas Hancock, and that'll bring up the EH, or the extra hitter, number 23, Brandon Young. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game with a strikeout looking back in the 1st inning. That pitch is fouled away for strike one.
Getting close to us. Thank goodness for the tent over our heads here, because the balls are starting to get closer, Brian.
McDonald's pitch count is not as high as I thought. I was looking at the other flip chart in the booth across the way from our vantage point here as Young looks at a ball one ball, one strike. That was the 47th pitch for Rory McDonald. Swing and a miss. Took something off of that. Young nowhere near that one. 1-2.
No. Rory McDonald looks like he's got Brandon Young's number here. I've struck him out previously looking, and now he's up in the count 1-2.
So Young will step back in here. He is the cleanup hitter for Newfoundland and Labrador. He will foul that away, stay alive. Brandon Young from Conception Bay South. And time is called. So we are in a pitch count situation here where they're
51 is the next threshold, right?
Yeah, so he can, once he throws a 51st pitch, he would have to have 2 days of rest. But if he stays at 50 pitches, it's 1 day of rest. So this will be pitch number 50. That's a ground ball to the right side. Second baseman is up there to throw out. Kyle King making a nice play there to tie Doucette to record the second out of the inning.
And we're probably going to have a pitching change here right now, I believe.
Well, they're talking about it, and here comes Nova Scotia's coach, and
that was pitch number 50.
Yeah, 5-0. So I think we're going to see Rory McDonald gets a big hand here from the Nova Scotia contingent, very large contingent actually here, fans supporting. Rory comes out of the ball game, and in comes his replacement, and it's number 9, Travis Feltmate from Halifax. He will take over, and we will have a pitching change. So we'll see where the lineup changes there for that, but that was, I don't know if it's a straight up change that Feltmate will come in to replace McDonald straight up, or if there's a secondary change. It doesn't look like there was a secondary change there.
No, it doesn't look like it. No, doesn't anybody left. I'm not, I understand why we have pitch counts and all that stuff, but I'm not in full agreement of the way the pitch counts are at this level here. It really turns into a numbers game, unfortunately, and the pitchers are kind of in a bind. You got to plan for the rest of the weekend and all that stuff and see if pitchers can go. They've got a lot of different, in Ontario we have thresholds, but they're not, we have 2 thresholds basically at this level. You go 55 or you go 95. Now starting next year, unfortunately, or fortunately, which way you want to look at it, Ontario is going to adopt pitching thresholds that are similar to this tournament for this division, because apparently we're the only province that doesn't have these thresholds. So
now I guess the thresholds are in place though to protect the young arms. You don't want to see pitchers throwing too many pitches. We've seen it, at least in the professional ranks. So many young pitchers, young good pitchers in the professional ranks, requiring surgery exceptionally early in their careers. So I would have to presume that there's a a medical reason or an established reason for that, but I guess it's hard to say that what the exact numbers, what the correct numbers are, but I guess everybody will be moving to the same page next year across the country.
Yeah, no, it's just, hey, it's the nature of the beast. That's the way it goes. But I always look back in the 70s, pitchers are throwing 140 pitches a game.
Well, you don't want to see that.
No, we don't want to see that. But the arm troubles were not as prevalent as they are today. So I really think there's something wrong with that part of the game, and I don't know. I don't have that answer, but I still think there's something wrong with that part of the game where the pitchers aren't, I don't know. I don't think their training process is allowing them to throw many pitches.
Travis Feldmate in the ball game here now with a 2-1 count. Swing and a miss there by Jay Miller. Jay Miller is the batter for Newfoundland and Labrador. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on base here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jay Miller was 0 for 1 in the ball game. He's the shortstop. He's made some dandy plays on defense.
Yes, he has.
For Newfoundland and Labrador. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Travis Feldmate comes out and quickly gets the last out of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And at the end of 4 complete, it is Nova Scotia 4, Newfoundland and Labrador 2. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're about to head to the 5th inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Scott Cherwadi. Hope you're enjoying this game. Group B action between Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. It's a 4-2 Nova Scotia lead after 4 innings. In earlier games from the tournament today, in case you missed these scores, Manitoba in Group B action, Nova Scotia lost its opening game to Alberta 3-0. Newfoundland and Labrador lost 6-2 to Prince Edward Island. Manitoba was a 3-0 winner over New Brunswick. In Group A action this morning, Ontario beat British Columbia 4-2, and it was a 13-2 win for Quebec over Saskatchewan. So here we have Nova Scotia taking on Newfoundland and Labrador. Other games going on at this hour here in the Oshawa area. Alberta taking on New Brunswick. Alberta 1-0. New Brunswick with an 0-1 record. And the other game, Manitoba taking on Prince Edward Island. At 6 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, join us here on SportsCanada.TV for the opening ceremonies of the tournament. All the teams will be here to march out onto the field for the opening ceremony. And then at 7 o'clock tonight here at Kinsman Stadium, it will be the host team, the Oshawa Legionnaires, taking on Team Quebec. So we go to the 5th inning. Travis Feldmate, who recently came into the game as the new pitcher for Nova Scotia, will take Rory McDonald's spot in the lineup. And this is his first at-bat of the game against Cody Butt. He swings and misses. He's behind 0-2.
Nice curveball thrown by Butt there to go up 0-2 on to Feldmate.
So we got a close ball game here, a 4-2 lead for Nova Scotia. That pitch is taken. Curveball for strike 3 taken.
Nice pitch there by Feldmate. He saw that Feldmate didn't like that curveball, so he went right back to it and did a job. 3 pitches, 1 out. That's what you want.
Cody Butt's 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and that will bring up Kyle King. Kyle King is the second baseman for Nova Scotia. He takes a pitch high and inside for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 so far in the game with a pop out and a fly out to center field. Cody Butt's pitch is wrapped right up the middle for a base hit. Kyle King with a single.
Solid hit right up the middle there by Kyle.
That is the 7th hit of the ball game for Nova Scotia. And it looks like we have a pinch hitter here. It is Emmett Mailman from Kentville, Nova Scotia, is going to bat in the place of Tyler Crowe. So Emmett Mailman will bat from the right side.
Emmett Millman looks like he's 25.
Well, he's just 15, turned 15 back in March. He does. He looks a little older than 15, doesn't
I'm 51 and I can't grow facial hair like that. That is amazing there. I bet she does not get asked for ID at the beer store. Not that he should be drinking beer anyways, because it's not legal age. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Mailman looks at the first pitch. It's low and in the dirt for ball one. Nova Scotia with the runner at first. One away here. They have a 4-2 lead on Newfoundland and Labrador. Mailman batting from the right side. Certainly looks like he's got a lot of power. They've got the runner picked off, or they'll throw it down to second, and they have got him.
Yeah.
Cody Butt threw over just at the time that Kyle King took off, and that is an out, retorted 1-3-4. Caught stealing.
He went on first move there. Unfortunately, just didn't have enough of a jump there to beat the throw to second base, and it's good to see Newfoundland come up with a good defensive play there, because they have thrown the ball around in the first few innings.
The 1-0 pitch is popped foul and to the right side and behind our vantage point on the right side of the diamond. Count is a ball and a strike. So nobody on the bases now for Nova Scotia.
No.
Looking for some insurance in this ball game. Both teams looking for their first win of the game. That ball is in the dirt. Count is 2-1.
I think Emmett had facial hair when he was born. I'm amazed at this. He's a big boy too.
Yeah. Yep. Big, strong kid. Looks like if he can make contact, he's gonna hit it hard. Cody Butt's pitch is ripped hard to the left side, foul ball.
You're right on that, Brian. He just turned on that.
He just was a little early on it.
Between the third base coach and the umpire there, both of them were very happy that it went between them.
That was hit very hard.
Yeah, he turned on that.
Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Emmett Mailman. Cody Butt will deliver. Pitch is just high. Count is full.
Yeah, just missed. And we got some activity scurrying in the Newfoundland bullpen.
That is the 71st pitch for Cody Butt. Here's the 3-2 offering. That is lofted to the right side. Is it playable?
Yes.
It is in foul territory.
Yeah, first baseman.
That is Mark Torvill making the catch to retire the side. So for the first time in the ball game, Nova Scotia does not score a run. They got 1 run in each of the first 4 innings, but they are turned away here in the 5th. We've played 4.5 innings at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa. It is a 4-2 lead for Nova Scotia over Newfoundland and Labrador. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Scott Trewady. And Newfoundland and Labrador trailing by a score of 4-2, but very much in this ball game. As we go to the 5th inning, 2 runs on 3 hits so far for Newfoundland and Labrador, 4 runs on 6 hits, actually 7 hits rather, for Nova Scotia. The pitcher is Travis Feltmate. He came on in the last inning. This will only be the 2nd batter he's faced in the game. We're seeing some changes now for Newfoundland and Labrador. Mitchell Noseworthy is the scheduled batter. Let's see if we can find out what's going on here as we see the umpire coming around to talk to Nova Scotia's coach.
I think Newfoundland's questioning some change in the lineup for Nova Scotia, so we're trying to. Unfortunately, we're not privy to what's going on right now, but we definitely will find out in a second here.
Yeah, it looks like Newfoundland and Labrador sees maybe a discrepancy. I guess there was an incorrect number on a score sheet. That's what it sounds like to me.
Travis Feltmate is listed as number 17 for Nova Scotia, and he was wearing number 9.
No, I have. Yeah, he's listed. On the roster, have him listed as number 9, but on the game sheet,
on the lineup card, he's listed as number 17. So that is a bit of a question there. So it is just a number error. It shouldn't result in anything in this case because
it's still the same player.
It's the same player, yes. Actually, if you notice, Cole Miller is number 17 too. So they have 2 number 17s.
Okay, that's right.
So someone, whoever did the lineup card for Nova Scotia, made an error and put Travis Feltmate at 17 when he should be 9.
So I guess they've cleared things up. Well, they're still talking about stuff right now, so we'll see if there's. I don't think there's going to be any change to it, but it definitely was Travis Feltmate on the Baseball Canada roster that I received last night at the coaches meeting. Feltmate was listed as number 9, so it's on the scorecard.
Yeah, it's an error on the scorecard, but unfortunately the scorecard is utilized, and the umpires have to follow that. So in this instance, it was just an error, and they wanted to correct it. So
yep,
didn't affect anything.
So it'll be Mitchell Noseworthy. He puts the ball in play to second baseman Kyle King, and on one bounce throws it over to first baseman Ty Doucette for the first out of the inning. Quickly one away.
Nice play by Kyle King. He's had a few ground balls like that, hard hit. He's fielded them textbook.
That's the fourth. Yeah, that's the 4th time he's thrown out a runner with an assist so far in this game. Zachary Mercer is the batter. Number 19, he's the left fielder for Newfoundland and Labrador. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded out to second back in the second inning. 4-2 is your score. Nova Scotia with the lead. Runs in each of the first 4 innings. Single runs for Nova Scotia in this game. Newfoundland and Labrador got 2 back in the 3rd. That ball is in play. It's chopped down the third base side.
Not going to get him. He's safe.
Real tough play. And Mercer is safe at first with an infield single. That's the 4th hit of the ball game for Newfoundland and Labrador. And that brings the tying run to the plate.
Just a little dribble out in front of the plate, but again, with the short bases and the good wheels on the runner, it's a really tough play to anybody to make. The pitcher's got his back to the play. Unfortunately, the catcher's got to turn and make a throw, so it just was in a great spot. Almost worked like a bunt.
Almost did, absolutely. Good effort there by Lane George to make a throw, but there was just not enough time to be able to make that play. So runner on first with 1 away here now, and the batter will be Mark Torvill. He's the first baseman for Newfoundland and Labrador, and he will look at strike 1. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out looking in the 3rd inning. They will check the runner back to first.
Oh.
And Zachary Mercer is slipped as he was going back to first base, and he was picked off. So that's a pickoff for Travis Feltmate, and a huge blow to the fortunes for Newfoundland and Labrador there, as they had a runner at first and just 1 away. Now there are 2 out and nobody on.
Good move by Feltmate there. Quick move to first base.
That ball is low for a 1-1 is the count now. It looked like Mercer just slipped a little bit as maybe he was leaning. I don't know.
He might have been leaning, yeah, but again, it was a perfect throw over there, and the tag was put on by Ty Doucette. Did a great job of putting the tag on. So worked out in Nova Scotia's best. Again, it was an excellent execution of the play, and that's been the difference of the game. Nova Scotia has executed. Unfortunately, Newfoundland hasn't in a few cases, which has cost them 3 runs.
Yeah, those 3 runs, all scoring either on throwing errors and in one case a wild pitch. There's only 1 actual RBI in the game. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Mark Torvill is a strikeout victim for the 2nd time in this ball game. So for Newfoundland and Labrador, no runs. There was 1 hit. The runner picked off. Nobody left on base. No errors. 5 complete here in Oshawa. It's a 4-2 lead for Nova Scotia. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We're about to go to the 6th inning here in Oshawa at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. 4-2 is your score in favor of Nova Scotia over Newfoundland and Labrador. Sponsors for the 15U Boys Ray Carter Cup Championship include Rawlings, the Toronto Blue Jays, Mizuno, SportsCanada.TV, as well as Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS, Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, and MyCore Insurance. Thanks to all the sponsors and for all of their support of what's been a great day of baseball already. Looking forward to an outstanding weekend of great play. We've got a real close game going on here. We've 5 innings complete. It's a 4-2 lead for Nova Scotia over Newfoundland and Labrador. Cody Butt stays in the ball game. He is up over 70 pitches at this point and was not the starting pitcher of the game, but it looks like Newfoundland and Labrador is going to let him use up all of his bats. That ball is down the left field line. Right. It's a fair ball.
Right on the line.
That is going to be a double, a leadoff double on the first pitch for Nova Scotia. Matt Mackenzie is the leadoff batter, doubles, and right away, big pressure being applied by Nova Scotia. Matt Mackenzie now in the game, 1 for 1. He's reached base twice. He walked back in the 4th inning. Now leads off here with a double in the top half of the 6th inning. That turns the lineup over to the top. They'll check the runner back to second. Mackenzie's back in plenty of time. And the little bit of dirt now on the bright white uniform for Nova Scotia. The batter is Adam Crocker. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He doubled back in the 4th. He squares to bunt, fouls it away.
He's bunting his sacrifice here. Got a little excited there, and he started running before he got the bunt down. In this situation, it's not a bunt for a base hit. It's a bunt to sacrifice. You need to get the bunt down, provided it's a strike, and then run. And your runner to third base is what you want to do. Then you would only have 1 out.
They want to see Matt Mackenzie on third base. That time he does not square to bunt. He takes it high. Count goes to 1-1.
Newfoundland, I believe the Butt thought, and between him and Broderick thought they were going to square around again. So they went high. Makes it a little harder to bunt. Don't be surprised if he doesn't square around on this pitch.
He does. The pitch is fouled. He needed to take that one back. That was very high to control the bat.
You're not bunting that. that's just too high. That was at his head height. So now 1 and 2. Usually the bunt would be taken off here because if you bunt with third strike and unsuccessful, you're out. But we'll see what happens.
Count is 1 and 2. Runner on second. That pitch is taken. Runs the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a big point in the game too here. Nova Scotia up by 2 runs. Would love to get a couple more runs here in this inning.
Well, that pitch is high for ball 3. Cody Butt missing a couple times high on this sequence now. He's at 78 pitches. He can go a maximum of 95. That pitch is taken inside for ball 4. He loses him. Adam Crocker trots down to first base. Runners at first and second now. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's not bunting. It is a bunting situation, but the way he swings the bat, he is not bunting here.
Lane George is 2 for 3 in the ball game. He tripled and scored in the first. He singled back in the second. He struck out swinging in the 4th on 3 very hefty cuts. And I would be surprised if there would be abundant play. You're probably your most powerful hitter in the lineup here with runners at first and second and nobody out and a chance to extend this lead. Shows bunt though. Takes it back. The runners, it's a double steal and they are both safe. So it's a double steal. Crocker goes to second. Matt Mackenzie now to third.
Good call. Nova Scotia is aggressive. Even though he was squaring around, I was thinking the third baseman has been charging, but in that case, he has to hold back with the runner potentially coming to third. So
that made it harder for him to cover third.
Yeah.
with a potential bunt, or at least a fake bunt.
Yeah. Plus the catcher had to throw around the batter. It's a right-handed batter.
Mm-hmm. Cody Butt misses that pitch now. He is not pleased with himself. The count is 2-0.
This is a pitch that Lane George is probably going to come out of his shoes if it's anywhere around the plate.
2-0. This is a favorable situation for Nova Scotia. That's taken high and inside for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Cody Butt now at 82 pitches, which means no matter what now, he would have to have 4 days of rest. So they are going to ride him till the end here, and there's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded, nobody out, and it's Ty Doucette. Ty Doucette will come to the plate. He is 1 for 2 in the game. Singled, knocked in a run in the first, grounded out in the second, and walked in the 4th.
The Newfoundland's got getting the bullpen going, and as well as coaches making a trip out to the mound to discuss things.
So a real chance to blow the game open here for Nova Scotia. They lead 4-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Nobody out and the bases loaded, and your number 3 hitter coming to the plate. This is the heart of the order. This is a great situation from Nova Scotia's standpoint. This is exactly the way you wanted to start this inning.
Absolutely. You got you got your leadoff guy who's batting 9th in the lineup, Mackenzie, who came into the game and led off with a double. What else could you ask for? And then back-to-back walks, unfortunately. Butt has struggled most of the game, really, with pitches that have been too high. He hasn't been able to get them down in the zone for most cases, and he needs to work down here. And again, Ty Doucette got a single in the first inning here, so he's a solid boy like Lane George is. So if he turns on a pitch here, this game's going to break the game wide open.
So here's Ty Doucette. He swings hard at the first pitch, pops it up to the right side, and it is not caught. Lands
foul ball
out of play. So it's just a strike. Nothing more happening there. But boy, I think Cody Butt would have loved to have gotten it out with that.
Yeah, first baseman. Again, the wind's playing havoc on it, so it was a tough play for the first baseman there, but the ball did land in.
It landed on the field.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the
nice block.
Pitch. Great block by Logan Broderick. That saved a run for sure there.
Absolutely. No, excellent block.
Mark Torvill was also had to look into the sun on that pop-up as well. So it's very windy, but also he's looking directly into the sun from his vantage point. There's a pitch that's outside. Count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike now. And a real walk in the high wire here for Newfoundland and Labrador. The infield, as you can see, is in very tight here. They're going to try and cut a run down at the plate if they can. Here's the 2-1. That is ripped to right field,
foul.
And it's foul.
Yeah.
That would have scored at least 2 runs had it been fair.
Yeah, oh, for sure. He turned on it. He just turned a little early on it and hit it hard, but it unfortunately he had to sit back just a little bit longer to keep that ball in fair territory.
He knows it.
Yep.
So he steps back out, gets the gloves back on, and he's back in here with the count of, scoreboard says 2-1.
I believe it's 2-2.
I think it's 2-2, yeah. Here's the pitch. Taken, strike 3 called. What a big out there for Cody Butt.
Big pitch. Big pitch for Cody Butt there.
That is Cody's 4th strikeout of the game. And it'll bring up Ryan Avery, the shortstop. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He walked and scored in the 3rd. Base is still loaded now, but 1 out.
Infield still in.
First pitch from Cody Butt is high.
Last time Avery came into play, he lined out. To the shortstop.
Double play could get them out of this, but they're going to try and cut a run down at home. That ball is popped up.
Infield fly.
Cody Butt is under it, and he catches it for the 2nd out. 2 away.
Another big pitch by Cody Butt there.
Outstanding job by Cody Butt. That is his 90th pitch now of the game. So he is quickly getting close to his threshold. You can't throw more than 95 pitches, or you can finish a batter with 95 and go over, but you can't start a batter after 95. So 2 out now, bases loaded. Now they will move the defense back a bit. They just need the 1 out to get out of the inning. Yep. It's Zach Jenkins.
Got to force anywhere here, so they got a lot of options, but it's going to be up to Cody here to.
First pitch is high, ball 1.
Cody's really having trouble. He's come up, get the last 2 outs, but he's really struggled with the pitch up high. He needs to work that down, and if he can, then hopefully for his sake, he gets a ground out or a fly out here to end the inning.
Jenkins with the 1-0 pitch. He fouls it away. Count is 1-1. Jenkins, the 3rd baseman for Nova Scotia, is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He singled back in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, grounded out to end the 4th.
This is definitely going to be Butt's last batter. So it's all or nothing here. He can finish strong here and get out of this inning, or not.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It is high, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nova Scotia had the bases loaded with nobody out here in the top of the 6th, but a strikeout and a pop out
to the 3-4 hitters.
Gets 2 away.
Still high.
Yeah, it's high with a 3-1 is the count now. Nowhere to put Zach Jenkins. Matt Mackenzie at 3rd, Adam Crocker at 2nd, Lane George at 1st. The count is 3 balls and a strike. Cody Butt's pitch is in there for a strike. Great pitch, 3-2. That was pitch number 95. So yes, Scott, this will be his last batter of the ball game no matter what.
Jenkins was looking for a walk there. That was a good pitch by Cody Butt there. The runners will be off, and this is a big play and part of the game here now.
Bases loaded, 2 out, full count pitch, grounded to short. 3rd baseman comes up with it, throws to 1st. Dropped at 1st. 2 runs score on the play. Mitchell Noseworthy came up with it, threw on to 1st, and the ball was dropped at 1st base. Mark Torvill tried to scoop it, but the runner was called safe. 2 runners come in, and they're going to talk about things now.
Yeah, 1st baseman's hurt. He's pulled with his stretch there. He pulled something.
So it's an infield single for Zach Jenkins. 2 runs come in. 6-2 now is the score in favor of Nova Scotia. They were that close from getting out of it, Scott.
They were. Yeah, if Noseworthy could have come up with a little bit stronger throw, or the first baseman could have come up with the ball, one of the two. Newfoundland is arguing with the umpire right now on the play at first base, so they have a little bit of a discussion going on over there.
It was a tough turn of events. If that ball, I think the ball was there on time.
I think the ball did. I guess he did not come up with it.
Yeah, it was the throw was. I mean, it was a rush play because the ball kind of died. And Cody Butt is coming out of the ball game now, and boy, he battled hard. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, but great effort. 95, 96 pitches thrown there by Cody Butt, and he's out of the ball game, and we'll see a new pitcher take the mound for Newfoundland and Labrador. But it's a 6-2 ball game as Nova Scotia had bases loaded, nobody out. They got to 2 out, but then they get an infield single to score 2. Discussions
ended for coach of Newfoundland with the first base umpire, Tasha Haynes. They had a long conversation about it, but it was a conversation. It wasn't. He wasn't yelling, screaming, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what the argument was because, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of replays here, and I'm only thinking that the only thing that could have happened is Newfoundland coach thought that he kept his foot on the bag and he hung on to the ball.
Yep, I think certainly Newfoundland and Labrador would be arguing for an out there because that would have been the end of the inning and would have kept the score at 4-2. As it turns out, 2 runs score on that big play. So that's a huge moment in this game. Cameron Pennell comes in to pitch now for Newfoundland and Labrador. He started the game in the lineup as the second baseman for Newfoundland and Labrador. Came out of the game when Cody Butt came in to pitch, and Liam Bavis had moved over to second base. But now,
so it's re-entry.
It's a re-entry, and Pennell's back in the game. Bavis, of course, stays at second base.
Still 2 out.
2 out and 2 on for Nova Scotia. It'll be Travis Feltmate, the pitcher, coming on. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He struck out looking in his first at bat back in the 5th inning. 6-2 Nova Scotia. Pennell misses, ball 1.
Yeah, first pitch high there, following the same Cody Butt. A lot of pitches were high and need the work down in the count, down in the zone. I mean,
there's a strike. Cameron Pennell from Mount Pearl. Pitches from the right side, so this changes the look for the Nova Scotia hitters. The 1-1 pitch is high. Logan Broderick has to haul that down. 2-1 is the count. Six to 2 is the score for Nova Scotia. We are in the top of the 6th inning.
Pennell needs to finish out in front. He's releasing up high. Even that pitch got help from Feltmate. That was going to be a ball. From a pitcher standpoint, again, if you're releasing up high, he's not following his arm down. The pitches are going to be high, so he needs to finish down here, and hopefully he can do it for his teammates at Newfoundland and Labrador.
Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners go with the pitch, fouled away. That ball just stayed inside the stadium.
Not far from the scorekeeper booth up there.
Very close to the scorekeeper's booth. Hit the ivy and stayed inside. Most of the foul balls in this park tend to fly right out onto Arena Street, just to the left side of on the third base line.
Runners are on the go on the last pitch. Are they on the go again here? No.
No, they aren't. There's the pitch, and it's high, ball 3. Count runs full. They'll certainly be going with this pitch.
Yeah, in motion here. Could be with a single here. Could be another run for Nova Scotia.
Lane George is the runner at second. Zach Jenkins is the runner at first. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Popped to the left side. That looks like it's going to go foul, and it is a foul ball. Zachary Mercer giving chase to that, but did not have a shot at that ball. Gave it a good run, though. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners at first and second. 2 runs in here so far in the top of the 6th for Nova Scotia to extend that lead to 6-2.
Runners will be off again, and here we go.
Cameron Pennell. We'll see that ball hit to left field. Left fielder is there and catches it. Zachary Mercer was backpedaling. It was hit hard, but the wind, of course, helps a little bit because it is blowing in from left field, and Mercer was able to haul that in for the 3rd and final out of the inning. But it's a big one for Nova Scotia. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were a couple of walks in the inning, and at the end of 5 1/2, it's Nova Scotia leading Newfoundland and Labrador by a score of 6-2. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Glad you could join us here on Sports Canada TV. Group B action at the Ray Carter Cup Boys 15U Baseball Canada Championships. It is a 6-2 lead for Nova Scotia. Runs in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then 2 more runs in the top of the 6th for their 6 runs on 9 hits so far. Newfoundland and Labrador with 2 runs on 4 hits, both of the runs for Newfoundland and Labrador coming in the 3rd inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning now. 2 chances for Newfoundland and Labrador to get back in this game. Cameron Pennell will be the batter. He started the game at second base, was replaced in the lineup by Cody Butt, the pitcher, but now he's in to pitch, so this will be his first at bat of the game. And he looks at strike 1.
From Feltmate.
Travis Feltmate is the pitcher now for Nova Scotia. He came on midway through the game. There's a ball. Feltmate has faced 4 batters so far. He came on with 2 out in the 4th inning. He has just given up a single hit. He did pick off a runner back in the 5th inning. It was a big play at that moment. That ball is grounded to the first base side, scooped up by Ty Doucette, and that's the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and that will bring up the catcher, Logan Broderick.
Logan got hit last time.
He did. It was a 3-0 pitch,
Yeah.
and it was a I think it was an off-speed pitch. It wasn't a hard pitch by any stretch, but it was in tight on him, and it otherwise would have been ball 4, but it ended up being hit by that pitch. He ended up later scoring in that inning, the first run of the game for Newfoundland and Labrador.
He's done a good job behind the plate today. Unfortunately, the pitchers haven't been the best today for Newfoundland, I'm going to say.
They've given up a few walks.
Yeah.
Pitch is low. Count is 1-1 on Logan Broderick.
Nova Scotia wanted that pitch. Feltmate thought it was a strike, and so did Mr. Lane George.
Tipped foul, and it is a ball and 2 strikes now to Logan Broderick. I believe it's been 7 walks issued by Newfoundland and Labrador pitching so far in this game.
Way too many. Hard to win a game.
It's tough. It's tough. That ball is high, and
Yeah.
Broderick ducks out of the way.
Just a bit inside. Just a bit.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Logan Broderick, hopeful of getting on base with Brady Walsh, the center fielder, on deck. Swing and a miss. That is a strikeout. 2 away. That is the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Travis Feltmate. Brady Walsh comes into the game now. He is 1 for 1 in the game. He walked in the first. He singled, knocked in a run, and later scored the 2nd run of the game for Newfoundland and Labrador back in the 3rd. So this is his 3rd time to the plate, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. 2 away, nobody on. 6-2 is the score in favor of Nova Scotia. There's a high pitch, 1-1. Both of these teams lost their opening games this morning in Group B action, so picking up a victory here. Somebody's going to be 1-1. There's a pitch taken at the knees for strike 2.
Yeah, and
Ball and 2 strikes.
Unfortunately, going 0-2 does not doesn't leave you in a good position.
Feltmate will deliver the pitch. It's low, 2-2.
Newfoundland has someone else warming up in the bullpen now for the top of 7.
That ball is fouled to the right side off the top of the dugout. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2, and it is high. The count runs full. And it's just after 4:30 Eastern Time. Coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, about 90 minutes from now, the opening ceremonies of the tournament. We'll have that for you live on SportsCanada.TV as Brady Walsh takes a walk and goes down to first. So it's a base runner for Newfoundland and Labrador with 2 away, and that'll bring up Liam Bavis, the second baseman. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game. Couple of singles.
Looks like Nova Scotia's going to discuss the pitching options here, and where are we at here with Mr. Feltmate? What's his pitch count at?
Looks like he is he's in the 20s. They haven't flipped the page right now, so he certainly has room to go. If you don't throw more than 35, you can pitch the next day. So he does not appear to be over 30 at this point.
And that's what they're looking at here. I'm assuming they're talking on that. I got 2 out. You got 4 or 5 pitches left maybe here. More, maybe 7 pitches.
Probably about that, but I think they're also maybe looking at the score sheet and saying, okay, Liam Bavis coming up now for Newfoundland and Labrador. He's 2 for 2. He's got a couple hits. He's got 2 of the 4 hits for Newfoundland and Labrador in this game. So he's their hot hitter right now. So they're probably just talking about that and making sure they know what they're doing. They throw back over to first to check the runner.
Unfortunately, Bavis got cut off at first base in the earlier in the game, and he also got thrown out at second base on a stealing attempt. So even though he's been on base with hits both time, he hasn't had much luck on the base paths.
Yeah, he's been thrown out twice. So, of course, all he's looking for here is to get on base and hand it over, hopefully, to Thomas Hancock, who is the scheduled hitter behind him, and to get another base runner on there. Brady Walsh has the lead at first. 2 away. 6-2 is the score. The pitch is high. That is 30. That's the 30th pitch. So you were right, Scott. Very close to that 35 threshold. So Nova Scotia is going to watch that carefully. They don't want to use him up.
No, they want to keep him fresh for tomorrow. So I'm assuming he's going 35 here, but.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, very high. They will snap back down to second and almost getting them there. Ty Doucette got the ball on a bounce from catcher Lane George, and
that was closer than anybody wanted to really think about it right there. The runner did not get down, not coming back. He just kind of moseyed in back to the bag, and it was a close play.
A quick swing back tag might have been able to get the base runner there. Count is 2 balls and no strikes to Liam Bavis. He's 2 for 2 in the game, as mentioned. Here comes pitch number 32. That ball is low. 3-0. They're being careful with Bavis. They know he's got the hot bat.
They do, and they got Hancock, who hasn't had a great day at the plate, so on deck. So we'll see what happens here.
6-2 is the score in favor of Nova Scotia. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's the 3-0 pitch. It's very high, and that's ball 4, and that's probably going to be the end of the line.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to let him see another batter.
No, he's done. He's done. The coach will be on his way out here in a second.
He's at 33 pitches, and here comes the coach.
The runner just heads up running by the...
Oh, he took third.
Took third there by Brady Walsh.
Brady Walsh took third. Nobody was covering third base.
Nobody was covering, and they thought time was going to be called, or time was called, and they obviously wasn't. So good heads-up play there by him.
So Liam Bavis is on first, so this will be probably it for Travis Feltmate. He came on in the 4th inning. He struck out 3 guys, but he walked the last 2 batters.
Yeah.
And that's got Newfoundland and Labrador with an opportunity here, with runners at the corners and 2 out, and your 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up. So
yeah, and we got Cole Miller coming in, number 17.
Number 17.
Here's number 17. This is the real number 17, as opposed to the little error we had with Feltmate listed as number 17. But this is right. This is Cole Miller coming in a big situation here. Left-handed pitcher.
So this will change things around here. We've got a lefty. So Cole Miller is from Dartmouth. Turned 15 back in May. He's a main pitcher. Main position is listed as pitcher. He's also an outfielder with this team. So it's a straight substitution. Cole Miller coming in a big situation here. This is base runners. You know, even if you get 1 here, Newfoundland and Labrador could cut the lead to 3.
Yep, going into the last inning. Something here, a little strategy here. You got a runner at third base. I mean, you got 2 runners on. If you score both of them, it's a 6-4 ball game, and it's a little closer than what Nova Scotia wants to be.
Well, those 2 runs that they got in that last inning now loom very large, because it was a 4-2 game at that point, and that bases loaded 2-out infield single that almost was squeezed at first base that led to 2 runs scored on that play to make it 6-2. Had that play been made at first base, it would be 4-2 right now, and you'd have the go-ahead run at the plate, but that's not the case. The tying run is still on deck right now for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah, no, it's again a game of strategy. And anytime you give up runs, in most cases, it's going to be the turning point of the game. It's just the way it works out in the game of baseball, unless it's a blowout. And we haven't had a blowout. There's been one game where Quebec beats Saskatchewan, but outside of that, all the games have been pretty close.
Very close games.
So, and we've seen some excellent pitching in all the games, in most games too.
So a big opportunity here for Thomas Hancock for Newfoundland and Labrador. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He struck out and popped out to the shortstop. But he has runners at the corners here with 2 away. His team is down by 4. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cody Miller's first pitch is in the dirt, gets away, and that is going to score a run. Brady Walsh comes in to score on a wild pitch, and Liam Bavis moves up into scoring position on that same play. It's a 6-3 score now.
Just what we talked about earlier. Just said that. If a run comes in, it's 6-3 ball game now. Runner in scoring position. Single's going to score him. So, really, this is, again, it's the next pivotal point in the game right here.
Cody Miller's pitch is outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Thomas Hancock. Brandon Young awaits on deck. He's the cleanup hitter, the EH or extra hitter in this ball game for Newfoundland and Labrador, hoping for an opportunity. Liam Bavis is at second base. 6-3 is the score, 2 away here. Miller's pitch is low and in the dirt. Nice block.
Good job by Lane to keep that ball relatively in front of him. Held the runner at second. And unfortunately, Miller has not even been close to throwing a strike here. It's 3-0. Not all 3 pitches have been not near the zone at all. So
let's see what happens here. Cole Miller 3-0. Probably Hancock takes this pitch. And Miller steps off. He's going to regroup. Bavis at second base, 2 away here. The count is 3-0. Thomas Hancock, hopeful of getting on base. And he'll look at ball 4 outside. And now first and second with 2 away. And it's Brandon Young. Young is 0 for 2 in the ball game, but with an opportunity to bring this game much closer. His team is down 3, but with a base hit or more could make it a much closer ball game right here.
They really would like Newfoundland, if they could find a way, they'd really have to get these 2 runners to second and third here and let Young take a shot at driving in both of them.
First pitch to Young is in there for a strike.
That's 3 walks in a row here, too.
That's true.
For Nova Scotia's walked 3 in a row.
This all began with 2 out and nobody on. Brandon Young, 0-1 pitch, will loft it foul to the right side and out of play, and the count is 0-2. Cole Miller, the left-hander, now ahead. Has some options here. Doesn't necessarily have to groove one.
No, I think this pitch is going to be something away. I think.
So here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled.
It was probably too good of a 2-0 pitch in this case for Miller, but Miller did struggle to walk the first guy he faced, so they don't want to get in a situation of a full count here at all. It's 0-2, but let's see what happens here. If he has an off-speed pitch, it would be something good right here.
First and second, 2 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Off speed, Scott, you called it. And the inning is over. But it'll be 1 run for Newfoundland and Labrador. On no hits, there were 3 walks and 2 runners left on base. 6 complete here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium in Oshawa, Ontario. Nova Scotia 6, Newfoundland and Labrador 3, 7th inning coming up. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We go to the 7th inning here in Oshawa, Ontario, Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. Group B action of the Ray Carter Cup Boys 15U National Baseball Championships. Both teams looking for their first win in this ball game. It's been a good one. 6-3 is the score in favor of Nova Scotia over Newfoundland and Labrador. New pitcher on now for Newfoundland and Labrador, and it is Jay Miller, number 12. Started the game at short. So he'll move on to the pitching mound now. And it'll be Kyle King coming to the plate to lead things off for Nova Scotia here in the 7th inning. Kyle King is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He singled back in the 5th and was later caught stealing. Jay Miller's pitch is outside for ball 1. There's ball 2 from Jay Miller. Nova Scotia scored in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings to get their first 4 runs, and they scored 2 in the 6th. 2 runs in the 3rd for Newfoundland and Labrador, and 1 in the 6th. There's a pitch low and away for ball 3. Pitch is high and inside for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for Kyle King. And certainly Newfoundland and Labrador do not want to give up any more runs here, give themselves the best shot possible in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters scheduled to come up, but you don't want to be down more than 3 runs going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Potentially a bunt situation here. Tyler Crowe will come back into the ball game. He was lifted for a pinch hitter back in the 5th, but he's now re-entered the game and is coming up to the plate with a runner at first and nobody out.
Broderick is coming out of the game, a new catcher coming in for Newfoundland.
And we see the catcher running out to talk to his pitcher. A lot of exchanges and changes happen in the later innings in games like this. It looks like Thomas Hancock is now catching. He started the game in right field, so now he is the catcher. Sorry, number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, number 8. So it's Andrew Payne from Corner Brook. So, Andrew Payne coming in to catch. It's a pinch catcher.
Pinch catcher. Bet you haven't heard that very often.
Not often. No, not at all. So we'll get back to the action here. Top of the 7th inning. 6-3 lead for Nova Scotia. Tyler Crowe is at the plate. Runner at first. Nobody out. Ball gets thrown away. Goes down
He's
the
going
first
to
base
third.
line.
He's going to third.
All the way to third on a throwing error from the pitcher. And that's been a main storyline in this game, where Newfoundland has unfortunately thrown the ball around a little bit on the infield. And that's a big one, as Kyle King comes all the way around to third base. Tyler Crowe hasn't seen a pitch yet.
Nope. Got the runner to third, though.
He'll look at strike 1. Strike 1 from Jay Miller.
Unfortunately, Newfoundland's thrown this game away on just some sloppy D.
Several of the runs have been accounted for through overthrows. Oh, squeeze play. They may have him between third and home, and they don't throw it down.
Catcher hung on to the ball.
They
had him.
They had them. They had Kyle King hung out to dry between third. That almost looked like a suicide squeeze, but Nova Scotia got out of it. So the count is 0-2 now. Crowe checks his swing. 1-2. Nova Scotia looking for more insurance here in the top of the 7th inning. They lead at 6-3. Nobody out. Runner at third. Tyler Crowe is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He'll foul that away. Count remains 1-2. Waiting on deck is Matt Mackenzie. Jay Miller looks in for the sign. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed for his strikeout. One away, and here comes Matt Mackenzie.
Crowe was mismatched there on that one. He didn't even look like he wanted to swing there at that last pitch. I don't think he was expecting the fastball at the knees. So
almost a defensive type of swing.
Yeah.
So it'll be one away now. Again, a run scoring opportunity here for Matt Mackenzie. That ball is in play.
Right
it's up the middle. And that's an RBI single for Matt Mackenzie. And he's had the hot bat in this game. He's now 2 for 2 with a walk. He scored a couple of runs. And that is a big RBI, and it makes the score 7-3 now for Nova Scotia. Matt Mackenzie didn't start this game.
No, he did not.
But he's made a big mark in it. He's now at first base with one away. Runner is going. That ball is hit through the hole between third and short. They are going to maybe get the runner at third here, and they do.
Yeah.
Very aggressive base running there by Matt Mackenzie as he is advanced to second on the hit by Adam Crocker, but then thrown out by the left fielder at third base, scoring that 7-5, and that's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that was aggressive base running, but probably, again, seeing the ball in front of him, too. Mackenzie had a good where the ball was. He probably should have held up, but, you know, again, they're 15-year-old kids, and he's excited to get to third base.
Yeah, well, it was an aggressive play, and there goes the runner again. They throw down. That goes nowhere near the second baseman, and Crocker will hold at second base. So almost another chance to advance a base there. But Crocker is in there with a stolen base. Runner at second now with 2 out. 1 run home here in the Nova Scotia 7th. 1 run in, 2 hits, and there's been a walk. The batter is Lane George. We've seen him pound the ball twice today with a triple and a single. He takes a strike there. Count is 1-1. Lane George is 2 for 3, scored a run, has a triple, also reached on a walk, and also threw a runner out, picked a runner off from his catcher's position at first base. Buckles away from that one, and it stayed inside, so it's 2-1.
George didn't like that pitch at all.
2 balls, 1 strike to Lane George. Nova Scotia with a runner at second here. 2 out, top of the 7th. They lead it 7-3. That ball is hit to second base, right at the second baseman.
End the inning.
To end the inning. So that's Cameron Pennell making the play there. So 1 run on 2 hits and 1 runner left on base. And there was an error. We've played 6.5 innings here in Oshawa at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium. It is a 7-3 lead for Nova Scotia over Newfoundland and Labrador. You are watching the live stream broadcast of the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. Going to the home half of the 7th inning in just a moment here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, Oshawa, Ontario. Brian Oliver along with Scott Cherwadi. Nova Scotia with a 7-3 lead. And Newfoundland and Labrador needing a big inning here to pull this one out of the fire. The 15U Nationals are sponsored by Durham College, Residence Conference Centers, GCBS, Group of Companies, Play It Again Sports, TorontoCharters.com, MyCore Insurance, Rawlings, and the Toronto Blue Jays, and Mizuno. You're watching this game here live on SportsCanada.TV. Glad you could join us. 7th inning now, Newfoundland and Labrador trailing by 4 runs. It's a 7-3 ball game. Jay Miller will lead things off here against Cole Miller. The first pitch is low for ball 1. Jay Miller in this game is 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout.
It's Miller time right now.
It is Miller time.
Yep.
Your pitcher is Miller, your batter is Miller. It's indisputable.
It is.
Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed.
Big cut by Mr. Miller there, Jay Miller.
Jay Miller is the batter. Cole Miller is the pitcher. The lefty came on last inning to get a strikeout to end that inning. That pitch is high. 2-1. Also gave up a wild pitch last inning that brought in the 3rd Newfoundland and Labrador run in the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 count here to Jay Miller. That ball is hit to the right side. And
caught by the right fielder.
Caught by the right fielder for the first out. 1 away. Mitchell Noseworthy, the scheduled batter. And he is coming into the batter's box now. He is the 3rd baseman. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Newfoundland and Labrador with 2 runs on just 4 hits by my count. No, that's unofficial. Game changer scorekeeper as the official numbers, but I have 2 runs on 4 hits at the moment.
3 runs on 4.
Oh, sorry, 3 runs. 3 runs on 4 hits. Noseworthy looks at a strike. 0-1.
Noseworthy's grounded out to the second baseman twice here today.
That ball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seven to 3 is their score. Nova Scotia in front. Ball taken outside. 2-1.
Ooh. That pitch was close. I think that pitch could have gone either way, but they looked pretty good from my vantage point.
It'll be a 2-1 to Noseworthy. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Noseworthy came out of his shoes right there, trying to hit a 4-run home run there.
Unfortunately, there's nobody on base, and they just need base runners right now.
Absolutely. Oh, another big hack off the pole, back to the catcher, and the umpire's got to check that ball out because it might be done. Scuffed up pretty good.
Noseworthy does a good job of staying alive. Count is 2-2. Zachary Mercer waits on deck. Here's the 2-2. It's high.
Yep.
Full count.
Really changed his he was trying to throw something off speed there, but his whole motion, everything changed for that pitch, which usually not a good sign for the pitcher.
The 3-2 is taken for strike 3. Low in the zone, but umpire calls him out, and that's the 2nd strikeout so far for Cole Miller. 2 away, and Zach Mercer is the last chance now for Newfoundland and Labrador, and he's going to have to get on to keep this game going. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Takes a strike from Cole Miller. Mercer singled back in the 5th inning and then was picked off. That ball hits the plate and bounces away. 1-1. Again, coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern time, 7 Atlantic, 7:30 Newfoundland time. We will have the opening ceremonies for you here on SportsCanada.TV as Mercer looks at strike 2. Count is 1-2. Here comes Cole Miller. That pitch hit the batter, hit him in the arm.
Yep.
So that will extend the inning and we'll bring up Mark Torvill. So a base runner now for Newfoundland and Labrador is Miller.
We're gonna have a pitch here for Torvill here.
Torvill is called back, or is being called back. He high-fives his teammate.
Torvill struck out his 2 previous appearances.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2 with strikeouts, yeah.
We're gonna have a pitch runner too here, it looks like.
So it looks like number 36 coming into the game for Newfoundland and Labrador, and that would, or 38 rather, and that looks like it's Evan Critch. Evan Critch from Paradise.
Is in for Mark Torvill. And number 20 is pinch running for number 19 for Mercer, number 20.
And that would be Nick Smith. So Nick Smith is in for pinch running.
Yes. And we're all ready to go here. Umpire's got all the credentials marked on his little card there, and we're all good to go.
So it's Evan Critch batting for Mark Torvill here with a runner at first and 2 away here in the 7th inning. Critch takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Cameron Pinnell would be the next batter if is scheduled as the next batter, but we may see some pinch hitters too as well. Count is 1-0 to Evan Critch. That ball is fouled back, strike 1. Cole Miller got 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning, and then he hit Zach Mercer to move him down to first. Nick Smith pinch running for him now with the red helmet. That ball is fouled away by Evan Critch, and the count is 1-2. So once again, for the 3rd time now, Newfoundland and Labrador down to a final strike.
Yeah, I got a little piece of George there. Foul ball went straight back off. Just hit a bit of his arm there. Umpire, again, give him a little time, went out, give the pitcher to the ball to the pitcher, and here we go. Nova Scotia crowd have the clap going here.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. It's high. They will throw down to second, and easily in there with the stolen base is Nick Smith.
Yeah, Smith, they weren't holding him on at first base, so he took advantage of the situation and said,
Critch did not offer at that, so it's a 2-2 count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at second. A 4-run lead at the moment for Nova Scotia.
You might see Smith run again, but it really his run doesn't mean anything at this point.
And Critch swings at a pitch that looked a little bit high, but he fouls it away. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
At this point, he's fighting everything he can now to try to find a pitch that he can drive.
Just want to, you want to put a ball in play. He's got to get on base to keep the game going. He'd love a base hit here to knock in the 4th run and bring up the next batter. The crowd starts clapping again here as the Nova Scotia supporters get behind Cole Miller, try and close this out. Here's the 2-2. It's high, and the count runs full. Cole Miller trying to finish things off here and get Nova Scotia in the win column in Group B play. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Nick Smith is the pinch runner at second. Here's the pitch, and it is taken, strike 3. Called strike 3, and that's the ball game. 3rd strikeout ends it as Cole Miller walks off And Nova Scotia walks off with a victory, 7-3 over Newfoundland and Labrador. So no runs on no hits in the 7th for Newfoundland and Labrador. So again, a game, Scott, that Newfoundland and Labrador did have. They had some chances, and they've been maybe just a little bit cleaner defensively. This game would have been a very close game. It might have even been even at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, from a mistake standpoint, I like to measure out. Newfoundland made too many mistakes. Not only defensively, they had a couple runners picked off as well. So at the end of the day, they made more mistakes than Nova Scotia did, and Nova Scotia played a good game for the win, and they get in the win column, going 1-1. Unfortunately, Newfoundland's got to really battle back hard now, as they're 0-2.
Both teams are done for the day now, and will resume their schedules tomorrow on Friday. Newfoundland and Labrador will take on Manitoba tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, so that's 11:30 Newfoundland time. And Nova Scotia will play at the same time, 11 Atlantic, against New Brunswick. So the players of the game being announced right now, Scott?
Yeah, Brady Walsh for Newfoundland.
Player of the game for Nova Scotia going 2 for 4 with a single and a triple, number 10, Lane George.
Lane George is the player of the game for Nova Scotia.
Both players, Welsh was on all 3 times for Newfoundland, and they didn't have a ton of base runners. And Welsh really, George started the game off with that ringing triple, and was solid behind the plate too as well defensively.
So congratulations to both teams on a great baseball game here at Kinsman Civic Memorial Stadium, as Nova Scotia moves to 1-1, Newfoundland and Labrador dropping to 0-2. In just over an hour, actually less than an hour, we are now at it's 5:09 Eastern Time. Scheduled at 6 o'clock Eastern Time are the opening ceremonies for the Ray Carter Cup. All teams scheduled to appear and be marched onto the field with the opening ceremonies, and we will bring you live audio of that coverage as the teams come together all together at the same place at once for all the fans, and that will set up tonight's 7 o'clock Eastern game between the host team from Oshawa, the Oshawa Legionnaires, and Quebec. So we'll look forward to that coming your way in a short period of time. Any final thoughts, Scott, on this one?
No, just you know what, it was a good ball game all in all still, even though the mistakes and stuff Newfoundland made, but it was a good game, a good hustle from both teams throughout the game. Again, as a baseball fan as well, it was a nice game to watch, and weather's been awesome. Looking forward to the showcase game, I like to say, tonight, the 7 o'clock game here, prime time, when Oshawa and Quebec, which for viewers tune in, it should be a good ball game.
Yeah, that should be an outstanding game, and we'll look forward to bringing you that Group A game at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So again, the final score this afternoon, Nova Scotia 7, Newfoundland and Labrador 3. Thanks for joining us here at the Ray Carter Cup Boys Under 15 Baseball Canada Championships on SportsCanada.TV. We'll look forward to you joining us again for the opening ceremonies within the hour, about 50 minutes from now, and then tonight's 7 o'clock Eastern game between Quebec and Ontario. Good afternoon from Oshawa, Ontario.